I mean, I know it's a process. Hey.
Good. You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll call the work session to order. Any questions about tonight's agenda? Yeah, Julie's not here.
Yeah, the street closure for Mickey's, that's for yeah, okay, that's okay.
It's actually tonight.
Oh, it's tonight?
I think it's early.
Uh,
Well, it was one of those things. It was Make-A-Wish type thing.
Yes,
so
okay.
It was, I called around. I know we had 3.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I know. And anyways. Street closure on Marion Street is for construction. Over here, so. Chief, how are we doing in getting a new firefighter?
One of the academy,
Right.
the other one, our timelines couldn't work out.
Can't?
Not comfortably,
Okay.
but you will put them in.
Right.
I'm still working with civil service. I wanna see what we can do on that.
Okay, perfect.
But January, looks like that's
Okay,
back.
thanks.
Is this a different well? I feel like we just did the,
That's just a revision and the.
yeah. It's another revision?
It's the same one we just did about, what, 2 meetings ago, or
Yeah.
last meeting, we just broke up $70,000. Instead of being like an outside source, because that is gonna be covered by me. So it's just that one line at the bottom of the.
For, I know those.
For 70,000, that's only changing last night.
Oh, the water operating fund, is like that, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Okay,
As part of the run expenses.
Yeah, that's definitely all PW one.
Yeah.
So I checked with PSC to hopefully get it reimbursed under that program. They said it's more of a maintenance item. So I talked with Rich and before we came up with that change to pull it out of the operating fund,
okay,
which it was funds available.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that work will be done this fall
this fall?
for the redevelopment of, yeah.
Oh,
You have to do it periodically, just to maintain capacity as well.
Big change with that capital project revision was the million for well number 2, which is still on
Right.
the same revision now.
Yeah, so there's no increase to the project right now, it's just showing that 70,000 was taken out of the loan or grant and moved to operating fund.
okay,
But the overall contract is the same.
That's gonna be it for that project.
Yeah.
Once we finish it.
Yeah,
There's certain other
it'll
projects.
be a new capital project
New
for
revisions for
the other phases coming down the line.
how many phases are there?
It's 4, so we're working on 2 and 3 currently.
Okay,
So we're under design for phase 3 and portions of phase 2. And then we have to make decisions on what phase 4 will be. We having a plan out there, but there's 4 phases overall. The $28 million project with about 18 million in funding, grant funding available.
And I guess that leads to the bigger discussion too. I mean, we've been looking at the rebuilding or building a new plant. I mean, it's quite a lot more expensive, but a new plant, there's some issues with the old plant, so we've been looking at a lot of different things.
So I'm pulling together just the information I have available and we'll ultimately figure out the best course of action.
What kind of timeline on something like that,
For this,
just even for ballparking it, like, well, I mean, if we were gonna throw that out there forward. Like in the next 5 years, the next 10 years,
yeah, it's all based on funding available.
Okay.
So, the key right now is we have funding available to rehabilitate the existing plant. If we're to switch gears, is funding available? That's the number one question. And then, if it is available, obviously to get it, put it in design, so, yeah, you're talking 5-10 years probably by the time everything falls in place. So we're already going down a path. I don't know if it'll change, but I'm gonna collect information, talk with the mayor, and then consider our best course of action is.
Ryan's been going about 100 miles an hour today. He's been catching a lot of this stuff up, so it's good.
what do we do then with the dam, or is that a sore subject, like? As far as funding, like I know we have a lot of projects, we have structure issues, we have all kinds of things that you're working on, but where does the dam?
The dam, so.
That's a great question, right, Ryan?
I mean, I know it's loaded, but
Exactly, so we had our DEC inspection earlier this year, a couple months ago before I started. We submitted the engineering assessment, the Chanel Engineering did to DEC. So we'll see where that's gonna go, but we're still studying, they've given us evaluation of the dam, and now they're gonna do a supplemental report to for decommissioning the dam. Ultimately, we'll have to see what the copy of everything is, look at our water supply and make the best decision for the city. That right now is we have a lot of water, for water rich, not a lot of communities are like that. So I don't know that remain that way, but it all depends on how much money that costs to repair and then we put the wells in, how much water we need at the end of the day, so that's part of the evaluation. Hopefully there's funding available, I don't know, that's one of the things I wanna look at, but you're talking multiple millions of dollars, it could be pricey.
And funding is a huge key to that. What funding's out there at that time? You know, the funding's changing daily, so. I mean, we've been watching, but the biggest thing I think we're gonna end up, we're working on now is getting a 5 and 10 year plan together. And so that, you know, when these funding opportunities come out, we don't have to, you know, everything can just be, you know, and that's one thing we've been looking at. And listen, Ryan's he's got a lot of projects he's getting up to speed on. We've had some really big storms lately and they've created some issues, so we're dealing with some of the issues now.
my remembering is right that the dams are gravity fed, which makes them different from the wells, or are the wells also gravity?
They're non-mechanical.
I don't.
It's all gravity fed.
It's all gravity.
It's all gravity fed from the reservoirs. Now we have wells, now it's mechanical. We have
Okay.
generators.
Yeah, so a lot of communities rely on electricity, right now, it's all gravity fed for the whole city, which is phenomenal. Right now, the wells, basically have to pump up to the ground level, and then it's gravity all the way down. But we do have backup generation out there, so power does go out, so there's electricity cost with it. And obviously well redevelopment periodically, so there is maintenance, just like maintenance on a car. So.
It's not MLD electric.
No, it's not, yeah.
It seems worth it to keep the dam if they'll fund repairs.
Yeah, so we're doing a study right now, hopefully it'll be done by the end of the year, to see how much water we pull from Westbrook and Meeting. And once we have that information coupled with what our wells are, then we can sort of see how much water comes from the different directions.
The estimate for Mead was 15 to 30, I believe.
15 to 35 million.
35 million,
A
so,
ballpark of.
and a lot of,
Plus or minus at this interstate today.
a lot of your grants cap out at 10, just to give you an idea.
You know, I'm gonna look this, if we can stack funding
Right.
and grants together, but it's a lot of effort a lot of pieces have to fall in play. And you might be able to, like, we phased the water plant, we phased the wastewater, might be able to phase this to stack grant funding, I'm not sure at this point.
It's a big lift.
What's the percentage now? So Mead versus the well one,
33% approximately in well water.
I
Mike,
don't, we'll have that information available, we're pumping around 400 gallons per minute out of PW1 right now. And PW2 will be online next year. Doing development, the screen was installed, we're doing development on that well right now. We'll put it online next year.
You go to the water plant, they've got a machine up there, tells you exactly how much water's coming out of that. It's pretty cool. You should, if you get a chance to get up there to see that, it's pretty, I mean, it's neat to watch the numbers and you can see how it fluctuates coming out of the well sometimes too, so. And he can actually bump it up from down there and back it off too.
So you can change the quality of the water if the wells are different, like you have more control over it rather than it just spilling over the dam and with whatever's on the surface.
So nothing spills over the dam right now. We have it down 10 feet, for dam stability purposes. But one of the benefits right now, if any of you remember last year, we had disinfection byproduct violation. In the water system, and that's basically based on the organic load. When you add well water to that, it lowers that number way down, so it does help us for water quality standpoints, especially during the summer months, to having well water available. So it does help for water quality and treatment purposes, which is good.
And then you can go and see all that. It's kind of.
Yeah, I'd like to actually.
Yeah, if you ever want to.
Yeah, because I'm more visual.
That's fine, we can go to the dams, we can go to the wastewater plant, wherever you want to see.
The wastewater plant is kind of a scientific walk too. I mean, there's so much science involved in it, yeah. And it's so much bigger than it looks.
Yeah.
So the 7.145, the general fund, the police to invest equipment, is that what we had talked about, the I mean, I'm curious as to what the.
I think that's moving the money around for the weapon purposes.
That's all that is.
That's for ammunition.
Yes, that's the
For those
ammunition,
new,
yeah,
for the new,
The SSC was also for the fire.
right.
okay, so that's all, it's. Because we approved the last one, this is just paying for it.
Right.
It's moving the funds around to be able to access and purchase,
Okay, all right,
more so with asset fortune. You can't pull from
what do you mean?
the asset fortune, we have to move it to cover, to pay for it.
We have to take it out of the reserve to use it, and it can only be used for upgrades. Right?
Oh.
The ammunition, it's a supply.
Yeah.
So that's just the regular funds and the SSC should buy the fire.
I see, okay, all right, I get you.
So there's a value when you have any kind of asset seizure, and that's what you're.
They restrict what you can and can't do.
Okay.
You can't supplement what the municipality or the government agency has to provide us. But it can provide upgrades, what we do now, which is what we're looking at.
That was the only question I had.
Any questions?
I'm not doing it, no.
You can, I have
I asked you earlier about defining e-bike versus a motorbike.
Yep. So an e-bike, the bicycle has to be powered by me. So it has to have pedals, you have to be able to manipulate the power by a human. A motorcycle is different. Vehicle, pretty much anything else in the vehicle traffic law is considered a vehicle. Has to be propelled by either electric or an engine. So trucks, cars, motorcycles, a trailer dog. Trailer is actually a vehicle as well, though you can't propel it, it's defined within that. Bicycle is human powered. The exception to the vehicle traffic law that defines an e-bike is it has to be powered by human and or electric means, but it has to be together. And it can only be operated, those are, and the different classes, there's 3 different classes of e-bikes. They can only be operated on a street that's 30 miles an hour or less. There's some restrictions to that.
What about trails?
Moped,
What about Center Neck River Trail?
it only defines it can be used on a street that is governed by a speed of 30 miles or less. Not, it doesn't define a trail that is not governed by speed.
I've been getting a number of complaints coming from people that are walking on trails. I mean, these e-bikes, and some of them aren't bikes, they don't have pedals now. You can't hear them. Next thing you know, they're there. If you have a dog or a child, it's the number of complaints we're getting, and we have been looking at other cities. We have pulled local laws from other areas, and we are going through and we'll get some of that information out to you guys, and we can look at that, because there's been quite a few residents in the city that want us to do this, and I think we need to do something.
I've been doing research and supplying to Mayor Corporation County on how best to mitigate the ship rumor.
I heard that there was an article in the Press Republican. That was something about the police department and the e-bikes, was that?
Yep, so the forum that we held in June of this year, earlier this year, we're doing the second.
Oh, that's what that was.
Right, we promised to do 2 annually,
Yeah.
so this is the follow-up to that. We're gonna add to it, we're gonna try to do a bike ride with the attendees. So we'll go out to the bike path and we'll ride together and we'll do some maneuvers, and we're also gonna have of course, a challenge, sure it's fun.
Yeah.
That'll be at the website of the week. That's September 10th. You guys-
Maybe soon to be a haunted house, you never know.
So those street closure on Louisiana Avenue, that's for them to put a new sewer path in? What is a sewer path? Is that just a new sewer line? Like what else? Is that what that means?
I believe that is what that is.
It's a new construction.
New construction tap, yeah.
See. So they're building a new house and then you're the.
Yep.
Line on.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
There you go. Somebody missed this one, right? Just 3 of us. I think we need to.
Yeah, I got it, right.
You want to talk?
The requisition for the defibrillator grant purchase. Is this something that we've already included and it's now purchasing it? Yeah, you've seen this before. It's a 57,000. So,
This is the grant we received in New York State,
yeah,
created the capital project. You buy it, capital project, the grant.
That's for the CDBG, right?
that was the big grant.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Richard, how's the OpenGov transition going downstairs? I guess, yeah, I know we're gonna see how good it's working pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Next month, we're gonna start getting into the budget, so. Okay. How has it been for you so far? Yeah, I know, but is it?
It's,
Yeah.
you know, the biggest issue with this system is it's different.
Right.
Use that is.
Mhm.
Brought it into the new world supposed to by having one big submersion.
Right.
It's still the same old software and everything will change. The new version of the web-based software, we would lose functional abilities in the system. Right, so that's why we're replacing Cyber Jones 6 years. That cost $750,000, I have been $1,000. This one's costing $490,000. Which includes implementation and first year cost of the software. Today's versus, what, 750,000, it's then twice that. Because the software is less expensive. And it's also more efficient because it's not always a flat file structures like users, this is no database. The only issue we're gonna have, I think, is it's gonna take time for it to use. that they're not using now, that can make their lives more efficient on a daily basis. They have a work order system, or real work order system. How we bastardize and wants to that way of using it, which we're not. And it's also got buses. That we're having a meeting.
Yeah.
Yep. That goes.
Thank you.
There were actually speak to the towns.
Getting rid of duplicated services 100 times too, right? I
I mean,
mean,
it'd be very helpful, but
Yeah.
of course, we have to test it all, see what it be the use versus what we just gain and. Other features too,
Right.
To those other systems going, but and you know, what they might have that this doesn't, we have to augment. So there's a lot of those kind of decisions to make, but the basics of going into place, the fence is almost finished, basically now, basically. Going through that and let's say we're getting down from 6,700 amps to. Yeah. And we're getting rid of, we're at 8,800 vendors, we're gonna lower about 1,200 of those because the history is gonna be reduced to just 3 years. There's a lot of data conversion going on and a lot of timing to keep this up. Keep it updated to currently. Casey's also not having energy to test for all of it. So it's a project.
Right.
And it's gonna come to a crescendo, probably around end of October, November, to push to get ready for January 1st, 2007. Have payroll ready. So we can cut checks right from that, to pay bills from it, to have our history done for the end of 2026. And then we have to work 3 months into 27 to get the billing system. As they're still developing the electrical, pushing stuff themselves and software. Right. So we'll use the units for 3 months in the next year, which we don't like. On a choice, we'll use that and integrate the information into this, what we got with postings. And then by the budgeting piece is gonna help us a lot. Everybody experienced that, I think, last week. No, it's Monday. We're having a lot of meetings. So this week, chance to look at it, and they think it's as simple as SpearGov was, from my understanding. And they think it's going to be even easier to use. And the best part of that, once you build that budget, there's a budget book that's going to give you transparency section. Where you see all the graphs and, the pie charts and, all of the budgets for the different departments and everything that is such a modern transparency site for digital finance in the world.
Are all of the departments doing it like together at the same time? So you're not like figuring it out first and then everybody's kind of in it, trying it out and seeing.
don't call anywhere about 1:30. Everybody's on OpenGov.
Everybody's been told.
Yeah.
Get your budgets together by September 11th and get it share software.
Okay.
So. You're in it.
Yeah.
In the middle of it, and there's no turning back now. But it's gonna work. Charter accounts is gonna be a great improvement because it's gonna be fewer accounts and more accounts, let's say. Even NLD is reducing a significant amount of accounts. They got 1,700 accounts alone in their processing section. They don't even, and they know, and they looked at intensely that. And in the sewer fund, we had slews and slews of accounts that, for infinitesimal costing of things. We don't need to do more. And that's been confined to condense.
Will it make it easier for us and new people to figure out the budget system? I mean, when we look at it, sometimes it's like hieroglyphics or things are labeled the same way, but it means something else if you're looking at a different department, and it can be confusing.
I think what you're gonna be able to do is forget the account numbers, because you're gonna see better descriptions. See longer, better, more complete descriptions, assistant descriptions.
Yeah.
Go out the department heads, there is a description right next to it, and some of them I know already are filling those out of what's in those line items and what that line item is specifically for those departments.
This is for the budgeting.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a lot of detail, but in the budget and modules, you have a lot of. Subcap or sub references to here's what makes up this line, and it's there. But the department has to use and your staff. Of course, that gets frozen once we're done with their request for the budget, and then it goes to the mayor's level, and the mayor's gonna be able to make his changes, and then that gets frozen, and then goes to the council level. We're gonna have 3 levels for budgets. You know, the council's budget is gonna be the adopted one. Because we roll the mayor's forward into the council, if the council makes changes, then that's the adopted budget, if they don't, then it's still the adopted budget.
I can see the complexity that's inherent in all that, because trying to get your budget items to match what they're saying. You know, if you have a menu of things that you can categorize things as, it's gotta be somewhat challenging department to department, right? So that's sure the amount of
Yeah,
collaboration.
and the confusion for the budgeting was what? About 4 or 5 different versions that we've been using over the last 4 or 5 years. So this is gonna be consistent approach, like ClearGov was, this is very similar, and going forward, this is gonna be the tool. And it's gonna be in the system. Even the capital projects piece. That's gonna graduate from being an Excel spreadsheet that who knows who has the latest version. To something that's in the system that everybody's gonna be able to see. And if you have access to change it, you can. If you have access to review it, you can. But it's gonna be there, and it's gonna be part of that presentation, goes to the public with transparency. So here's our capital expenditure plan, and here's our actual budget for the year. So it's looking like a good tool. I think we made a good decision at getting it. And this crew that we're working with at OpenGov, they know what they're doing. They're very supportive. Making good progress with them.
Did we start on time card management? Time management yet? Have we gotten to that piece yet?
We're working on the piece of actually another meeting tomorrow for discovery. This is where time costs. Plus, it's grabbing all the information about our payroll and payroll processing, how it feels right now with
Okay,
time sheets and time cards and that.
right.
Like all the contracts to kind of come for those.
I was just gonna say, is this gonna be some negotiations with unions and, you know, as soon as you go digital, now you're talking about, you know, there's gotta be a leeway, you know, the 7-minute leeway, right? Or you're on the next 15 minutes when you're electronic. So you gotta, there's things we have to build in the contracts and negotiate and come up with policy.
Policy.
Yeah. Yep.
In Casey's spare time, we're trying to sort through our new IT contract. So we have been working with, we've had one of the vendors in and we got a couple more to go, and then we'll have a new IT contract soon. We can bring to you guys, hopefully next month. I would think, right? So,
Is that like soup to nuts, like everything IT related? Or is it cybersecurity or? is it
Everything.
all
Everything.
of it?
Besides the pictures.
Yeah.
Phones.
And telecom,
Yeah, phone,
Okay.
PowerPoint.
yeah, so everything else.
And you're working on it, right? You said.
Yeah, we're,
Great.
yeah.
And the overall intent is still, I haven't heard though. To get out of Google and $35 a month for use it.
every chance he gets.
Say that $35 user.
It's what you need.
Well, it's hard when you have it, you have to have your final product in a Microsoft type program, and then you have to take it from this, and it's not as easy as just taking, copy and pasting it. It doesn't work like that. It's a time wasting process to get it to what the state accepts, right? I mean, that will be a time saver too, going backwards, I guess.
It's gonna be
Not
a money,
backwards, it's
gonna
forward.
be a money saver too.
Most option out there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Because you pay for everything, but
Right, and that's part of, some people only need an email, and we can get just an email through Microsoft, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so like 200 of our employees will have the lowest. Right? And then a group in the middle, and then you guys will have probably local installs and full licenses, right? So it'll, but ultimately, that's gonna save money.
Talk about time saving with like open gov, when we're doing the budget, like, which that is gonna transition to transparency, so. Like I would. Take an export from Munis. Manipulate it and then upload it into ClearGov, if something didn't upload correct, then I'd have to go back and it's this whole process. And we couldn't do the first like 2 months of transparencies because. But we'd still be in the year prior and we haven't fully rolled over the system, so it'd be hard to get those numbers out of Munis to kind of. Give the public kind of what our real numbers are, but it's all just gonna transition. From budget. To our financials right away and to our transparencies.
All in the same system.
Yeah.
Even better. What our Julie's working on right now is what's called workforce planning. What we used to do for budgeting last year and every year is pull the information out of the units, put it into a worksheet, send it out to everybody and say, here's what your payroll cost is next year. And they look at it and say, this isn't right, come on, get with it. They send it back to us and 5 or 6 iterations more, you don't know where you are. We're building the workforce plan for like 230 employees right in the system that flows right into the cost that's being budgeted for the payroll for every department. So the building of that is gonna firm that up, and then year after year, we just modify what elements have to change, update the payroll for the forecasted year.
Once that's done, managers will be able to go in and if there are changes or updates, like they want a vacancy or something like that, they can request it in that workforce. Module.
So like the capital projects, you're gonna have it in the system and not on the worksheet that who knows who's got the latest version. Payroll's gonna be the same. So, a lot of changes, but for the better, and it makes us more modern and more efficient. And if we use it right, get a lot of benefit from it.
Do you have a rough idea of time savings that's gonna come from it?
I haven't really looked at that yet. We know one thing. This, the payroll module, if we start to gather time electronically, it's gonna save a lot of time from people doing manual timesheets. Or filling in, worksheets for their time. At one point in time, I looked at that was about $500,000 of additional cost every year. To have the payroll being done in the different departments on timesheets and on worksheets. Then sending it into finance to reload it into Munis so they get you a payroll from. So it's gonna be a big time savings, we can estimate that probably. More scientifically, but it's a big change. We're gonna get rid of the paper. And say sitting people down at the end of the day and say, hey, use this last half hour, fill in your time, it's 50 people in public works doing that. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, I think that info would be very valuable, especially for people to know how much time is being saved by going more modern.
Yeah, well, they'll be able to scan invoices and like just write on the invoice, maybe the account that it goes to, and it'll automatically create an invoice, so that'd be time savings for all the departments. And having them in our system, and when we have our audit, we aren't going through buckets of paper trying to find out a certain invoice, and we can just go into the system, print it out, and go do that.
Yeah, the advantage there is to get rid of accounts payable paperwork. Where Beth would send us down an invoice, she has to fill out a worksheet piece of paper, attach the invoice to it, and those are our file copies that we use. Now she can send the invoice down, system scans it in, creates the payable record, and you're done. And you pay from that, and if you want to see what you paid, it's electronically stored pieces.
Is there any way to
the file is a piece of paper?
Is there any way to quantify those hidden costs or hidden savings?
We're gonna have to look at it.
I mean, I
just the paper costs alone
Yeah, no, like all the,
Yeah.
like the time and then the paper and all that stuff is, yeah, ink, it's all a cost.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even in the departments that are putting these papers together. Just to send down to us so that we can re-enter the units, the duplication of it, but that is gonna go away.
Yeah,
All they have to do is have their manager sign it, put an account number on it. Send it down to us, we scan it, get that creates the payments record instead of somebody taking it. So our accounts payable group is gonna be able to review stuff. More than type stuff. And so they're gonna have a chance to look at it and make sure it's right and get it in the system properly. As opposed to hurrying up to try to type it and so get the bill straight for the week. So yeah, we're gonna have to quantify what we're saying.
because it would be interesting to know that, to show that as a, reason for why it's a good thing to have done it. You know?
Just the paper costs alone for not having to have a voucher sheet along with an invoice is gonna be huge.
Yeah. Crazy.
I hate that term, I hate that. I'm paying claims and said, no, I'm paying bills for Christ's sake.
On the security
Claim
end,
against the city, it's like, no, it isn't, claim against the city if someone, falls on the sidewalk.
Right, that's illegal, but,
No.
yeah,
So it's gonna simplify that.
yeah.
And then the savings, you have to figure out from going from Google back to Microsoft too.
it would be huge.
I said it, Beth, I said it first. We had a bet that you were gonna bring that up tonight. Yeah, I know.
It's the setup,
Yeah,
but if you take the time to set it up right, and you're gonna benefit from efficiency alone.
yeah.
The workforce planning part of it, and expenditure planning is part of that.
And how you remember those account numbers like in Munis, I mean, you're gonna save time just by not having to remember those numbers, quite frankly. You know, seriously.
Good.
I mean, cause and then especially when we get into the, DPW where they're working for water, sewer and DPW. I mean, you literally have three numbers for one person. Or one, and it's. It.
And that can be read in the workforce planning, but they're out.
Right.
Put it in once and then it applies.
And that's where, that's where you're getting to the point where it's really confusing when you're looking at these things. It is. And I think this is gonna make it easier to read.
We're also getting new security, so we're getting CrowdStrike. Paperwork's been submitted.
Today I did it.
Yep. So, that's great endpoint security.
Casey, you're the second, just so you know.
So literally. See something that you can shut that endpoint down. It's no longer on the network technically and
What is crowdsourcing?
no infection. Yeah, absolutely.
You need
It's
to
a
come
big
into
software.
one of the computer meetings with him and Dave Randall. It's a different language, right? It truly is. I mean, I don't know what we did, but we did a lot of good work yesterday.
We're getting it free. It's not necessarily free for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
And the window was gonna close and Dave Randall came down and he's interviewing some of the IT vendors with us. And he told us that the window was getting a little smaller and so we did it today. Yeah, so one way or the other, whatever way we go, we have that option.
Yeah, we're gonna have that.
And I think he said it was a 5-year contract.
Yeah.
And it comes out to a 5-year and it's free.
So
My
that's-
favorite price. It's free.
That's-
Right.
Yeah, it's also.
Very much, yeah.
So there's a Falcon sensor and it can do a lot of reporting too.
Right.
So we can take advantage of it beyond just cybersecurity.
So,
So they get going on this stuff. I'm just sitting there going, wow.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
Any other questions about tonight's agenda or anything open? Any other questions about anything else? Take a break. If nobody's got anything else, we'll take a break till